This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Steve Mnuchin, the Secretary of the Treasury of the United States of America, is openly, flagrantly, and in true despicable Republican fashion, breaking the law. He is currently acting like a criminal in service to Donald Trump. I hate to keep doing this, but it seems lately that I've been in the prediction game. Back on January 3rd, I discussed the incoming chairman of the House Committee on Ways and Means, and the almost certain likelihood that he, Richard Neal, would utilize the power granted him by law to request and get Donald Trump's tax returns. Well, exactly 3 months after that video, Chairman Neal made the request, and 10 days after that, when nothing had been done to fulfill the request, he wrote another letter, dated April 13th. On April 3rd, 2019, pursuant to my authority under Section 6103F of the Internal Revenue Code, I requested that the Internal Revenue Service furnish certain return information by April 10th, 2019. As I explained in my letter, that request is in furtherance of consideration by the Committee on Ways and Means of legislative proposals and oversight related to our federal tax laws, including but not limited to the extent to which the IRS audits and enforces the federal tax laws against the president. And because he knows the extent to which Donald Trump and his accomplices have disrespect for the law, he explained that this wasn't at their discretion to disregard. First, it bears noting that the statutory language of Section 6103F is unambiguous and raises no complicated legal issues that warrant supervision or review by the Department of the Treasury or the Department of Justice. Section 6103F commands that upon written request from the chairman of the Committee on Ways and Means of the House of Representatives, the Secretary shall furnish such committee with any return information specified in such request. Well, on May 6th, the Treasury Secretary, Steve Mnuchin, wrote back to Chairman Neal and pretty much told him to f*** himself. He wrote, quote, "The Department of the Treasury has consulted with the Department of Justice concerning the lawfulness of your request. As explained in my April 23 letter, the committee's statutory authority under Section 6103F is bounded by Congress's authority under the Constitution, and the Supreme Court has held that the Constitution requires that congressional information demands must reasonably serve a legitimate legislative purpose. In reliance on the advice of the Department of Justice, I have determined that the committee's request lacks a legitimate legislative purpose, and pursuant to Section 6103, the Department is therefore not authorized to disclose the requested returns and return information." Quickly, let's talk about the specific language in the law, 6103F. It is no accident that it was worded in the manner that it was. It doesn't say the Secretary may furnish the return or returns information when requested. It doesn't say the Secretary, after consultation with the Justice Department, can, if they want to, furnish the returns and the return information when requested. It says shall furnish. Shall furnish. Again, for the MAGA clowns who claim to be all about law and order, United States Code, Title 26, Subtitle F states, quote, "Upon written request from the chairman of the Committee on Ways and Means of the House of Representatives, the chairman of the Committee on Finance of the Senate, or the chairman of the Joint Committee on Taxation, the Secretary shall furnish such committee with any return information specified in such request." So by refusing to comply with the law, Steve Mnuchin is breaking the law, which makes him a criminal. He is conspiring with the perjurious Attorney General Bill Barr to withhold Donald Trump's taxes in clear violation of the law. Something must be in the Republican water supply in Washington, D.C. that so many of these dipshits are willing to lie to federal investigators, to perjure themselves while being sworn under oath to give testimony before the Congress of the United States. They're willing to ignore lawful subpoenas. They're willing to take foreign assistance in domestic elections from hostile foreign powers. They're willing to ignore plainly written laws, thus breaking them in full view of the public. They do all of this in service to a vile wretch who knows no loyalty, who knows no sense of duty or patriotism, who only cares to protect himself from consequence as a result of his countless immoral, unethical, and yes, criminal acts. All this happens while congressional Democrats are being strung along like children. Listen, the House has the power to impeach every single one of these criminal co-conspirators scheming to protect their dear leader. The fact that it might not succeed in the Senate is not a good enough excuse to refuse to pursue justice and the principles of equal justice. Power doesn't absolve you from the basic adherence to our laws.